My name is Abbie. I'm deeply passionate about all things wild and have made it my mission to explore and document many of the world's most stunning landscapes through human-powered adventure.
Each quest is totally unique. Some traverse exposed moorlands and rugged mountaintops. Others whiz through bustling market towns and historical cities. They see me dive down deep amongst marine life, follow world-renowned archaeological discoveries, and travel through some of the most tranquil valleys and mystical forests accessible only on foot. My goal is always one of discovery and awareness. Getting outside is now more important than ever before, with obesity rates maintaining record highs and mental health issues affecting over 1 in 4 individuals. In building an archive of films, I aim to leave you looking for a challenge, ready to break free from the monotony of everyday life and be inspired by nature enough to want to give back. Ultimately, I want to see you don your adventure boots and spend more time in the wild for the benefit of mental and physical health. I've realised that you don't have to do something crazy or radical to change how you feel about your life. You just have to get up and get out. I face my own trials with mental ill health and chronic pain, as no doubt you'll see on my travels. But alongside building a strong support network, getting outside and taking the time to reconnect with nature has helped me move further along the road of personal discovery. So, here's me inviting you to join me on my adventures as I explore this awe-inspiring planet. There will be hardships along the way, and we're not guaranteed to succeed. But it takes a brave heart and a courageous soul to commit to the unknown. Now all you have to do is decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it. Are you ready? Let's go!
Good morning, people, and welcome to a brand new day and a brand new adventure. If I tentatively place down my walking pole and I turn around, behind me you see metal bars and the remains of Melrose Abbey. Now, unfortunately, it's being restored. I can't go in there, it's very annoying. But Melrose is the beginning of a very exciting journey for me. Now, I am here to walk the St. Cuthberts way across the Scottish borders to Lindisfarne, the Holy Isle, a real icon, not just in the UK, but in Europe as a whole, of Christianity, of Viking raids, and of history and good stuff. So, St. Cuthbert, who was he? He was a shepherd, and then he was a monk, and then he was a bishop, and then he was a hermit. He was a man of real meaning and purpose, and I am really excited to follow in his footsteps because I am on the hunt for meaning and purpose. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that I am beyond passionate, possibly obsessive, about the power of getting out into the natural world to find a sense of meaning and purpose, a deeper level of spirituality and connection with self and a bigger picture. Now, obviously, St. Cuthbert was a religious man. I am a spiritual person, and I cannot wait to journey along these 63 miles and see what message the trail is going to give me, because every single trail I do, there is a deeper message. So that sense of meaning and purpose, just through human-powered adventure and purposeful adventure, really gives me hope. Now, this route is also in partnership with Max Adventure and Trash Free Trails, who are equally as passionate about purposeful adventures. So I'm going to be discussing a wee bit what they stand for and why I'm actually choosing to work with them on this trail. But ultimately, anyone who cares about getting people outside into the natural world and giving back to the natural world to protect it for future generations to come are my best buds, and I want to hang out with them, and I want to talk to you folks about them as well. So 63 miles lie ahead of us. I can't wait to walk. The last couple of months have been absolutely bonkers. We've moved out of our house into my van, which is a serious downside, just saying. I also had a major operation. So this is my first hike since moving out, since my operation, and since jumping off a cliff into the abyss of the public world, sharing news that some people knew and some people didn't. This is a big deal. This is already like really meaningful for me, and I hope that this trip inspires you to get out on your own adventures as well. Bring it on. Yeah. I like hiking. Did I say that already? I'm really quite excited. Woohoo!
It was a real shame to not be able to explore the Abbey, as the place boasts endless stories. Apparently, the heart of Robert the Bruce, legendary King of Scotland, is buried on site. A little bit bonkers, I know. So, instead of looking for decaying body parts, I headed back into the village, a bustling place with plenty to see and do.
Cuthberts way, and this is the logo for the trail. It's meant to replicate the gold cross that was found around St Cuthbert's neck when they opened his coffin. That is a lot of steps, people. I should have counted, but I didn't. I'm not going back down. Stairs. Frick, people, I'm on the trail. Ecstatic does not do justice to the joy in my heart right now. 2.5 months ago, something like that, I came out as a trans non-binary person off the back of having top surgery, and it has been liberating. And now I'm back on the trail in my ultimate happy place. Oh, hey listen, I know I've not even walked a mile yet, but this is what I live for. This is what I've dreamed of. The first thing I asked when I came round from my op was, can I walk yet? People, I am walking. Ah yeah. Also, don't forget to shut gates. Look in here, wild raspberries. I mean, I haven't had breakfast yet, so this is great. Actually, that's a lie, I did eat a banana. I wasn't very hungry. I have to admit, it's one of my favourite things about hiking at this time of year. Oh, the wild food. I forgot my walking pulse. Food wins. Let's go. Look how many there are. They see me eating, not walking. I'm munching all the raspberries on the circumference way. It blows my mind that so much of what we eat and buy off the shelves is so far removed from the wild and natural versions, whether that be taste and flavour, texture, the size that plants, fruits, vegetables grow, or the nutrients they hold. So when I'm out on a trail, it's one of my favourite things is to just forage, and I set myself the goal of learning a new plant on every hike, which is difficult when you're in so many different countries all the time, but my knowledge continues to evolve, and I always try and share and impart what I do know when I am on the walks or leading the walks that I host around the country. That being said, I don't need to worry too much about nutrition on this hike because I am not camping or wild camping. Shocking, I know. But you know, I started backpacking by using B&Bs with my mum. And for a lot of people, that is what makes hiking accessible and long distance walking accessible. Not having to carry a heavy load and being able to get a proper night's rest each evening. And in partnership with Max Adventure, I'm doing this walk on their itinerary, which is super, super cool. So I'm staying at local inns and hotels and B&Bs along the way. I'll get a good night's kip at the end of each day and hopefully find some good scoff along route as well. That being said, I will continue to eat raspberries until time presses me too much. We're in the saddle now between Eildon Hill North and Eildon Mid Hill. Now the north one is really quite epic in the fact that it's home to Scotland's largest hill fort. However, the mid one is the tallest, so I can't walk by and not go to the top. That's where we're going. And let's see if we get any views by the time I'm up there, because cloudage. Here we go, look. So the Cuthberts way does just continue. So if hills are not your jam, don't worry about it. You can have marmalade instead. No, you can go that way. Before we yomp up the mountain, not mountain, I'm going to put waterproofs on. One of the things I always tell clients when I'm leading walks is, if you find yourself feeling thirsty, you've probably left it too long to have a drink and you're edging into dehydration. And it's the same with things like the weather and eating. Always try and stay one step ahead of what's going on. And that way you're gonna stay fit and healthy and strong and energized on the trail. So drink every time you stop, have a wee sip, it doesn't hurt. Have snacks to keep your energy up and anticipate the weather so you can keep yourself protected and not exposed and getting cold. I need you, I need you, and I need you. Let's go. Right, let's go climb the hill. Enough faffing. I taught my American friends that word. Faffing is a good English word. Or Scottish, or British, there we go. No favourites, people. Alright, there's Eildon Hill North, and even though the wind and drizzle are picking up, we are getting views, people, and we love a view. What else do you climb a hill for, you know? And is this the top? Because it seems quite topish. Yes, it is. There's the trig. Woohoo! There we go, the top of Eildon Mid Hill. 422 metres above sea level. This is off route, but if you do it, it's the highest point on the route. And even though the weather is teasing us right now, the views were 1000% worth the yomp up to the top. Happy days. Well, I was considering dropping down the other side of the hill and looping around to join the way down in the valley, or the glen, oops. But I've decided it's actually probably quicker to come back down the way I came up. A little bit of concentration because the rocks are quite loose, but that was really, really rewarding, definitely worth going up. And to be honest, I need to walk now because the end of my day has a transfer to my accommodation and there is a cut-off. I'm not just wild camping anywhere I want. So let's do it. Let's get it down into the glen and let's pick up the River Tweed. Here we are. So that's where we came up. That's the other hill, if you fancy doing that. And we're going down this way. Let's do it. Wow. Look how big these beech trees are. It's a real avenue of them. We're surrounded. I mean, there's a few maples in here, but it's so nice to be in the forest in the rain. I find if ever I'm feeling overstimulated with noise, whether it be literal noise around me or noise in my head, that coming into a forest intentionally to just breathe and be mindful is really grounding and really helpful. I highly recommend it. As many folks know, Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, is really taking off around the world, and essentially it's to do with surrounding ourselves by trees and canopies and all of the chemicals that trees emit that actually activate our parasympathetic nervous system and physiologically calm us down. We need nature on every possible level. So yeah, if you're feeling a bit buzzing or fizzing or stressed out, get yourself around some trees, give them a hug, appreciation, and take a good old deep breath. You're guaranteed to feel better for it. One of my favourite wild edibles in a healthy, mature woodland like this is this leaf here. This is wood sorrel. Kind of looks like clover, but it tastes really lemony. It's such a unique and citrusy taste. Or maybe limey, actually. Yeah. As with all edibles, I try not to pick too much, but on the other hand, it is really quite delicious. Alright, we're heading off the hill through the forest, and I thought I would check the Max Adventure app, which is super helpful if you're not used to using navigational apping systems. They have their own whole shenanigan here. So this is the current trip I'm on. It's in Cuthberts Way, in case you didn't know. View trip, and this is today, day 2, because I travelled up yesterday. I'm going to click this one, the map. I've downloaded it all offline. You can see in the top right that I'm actually on flight mode now, and this is where I am. As you can see, I haven't made much progress yet, and it's kind of cool because based upon the direction that I face, I can see which path I need to take. And actually, I'm at this junction. You can't see the other one, but have I got layers here? Whoa! Let's go back to this. Yeah, I need to go down through to Greenside Plantation. Let's do it. It's always really helpful to download maps offline. I'm a big advocate of having an app on your phone to navigate by, but also paper maps and the knowledge of how to use them is also essential in partnership with a compass. So Max Adventure sent me a little package with a guidebook and a map and some other information as well. But using their app is also proving really helpful. I think we are stumbling upon the hamlet of Bowden. I love the playground. I got stuck in one of those last year. Or maybe I have to do the bridge. Wet wood is going to be slippery. I'm surviving. I'm not surviving. I told you wet wood would be slippery. Oh no, and there goes my guidebook. Adulting is hard. Yeah. Sorry, Cuthbert. Let's go. I was going to do the slide, but I'll rethink that now. Bowden Pantwell. What is a pantwell? Pant, also pant wall, a public fountain, the mouth or issue of a well. Bowden's Pantwell is significant in public health terms. It brought clean water into the centre of the village in the mid-19th century, before the role of impure water in spreading disease was understood, before germ theory was established. Oh, nice cherry tree, they say, walking down the middle of the road. Oh, that's a lime tree as well. Nice, nice fragrance, those flowers. Anyway, bye lime, we're going this way. There really is something to be said for seeing big trees this day and age. So many have been cut down in the process of houses being built, so it's nice to see them celebrated. Anyway, that was our flirt with Bowden. I really don't care what this trail throws at me, because if St Cuthbert could do it in the days of robes and sandals and having a bald patch on your head, then I can do it with all my modern shenanigans. But also, it's not just St Cuthbert that is mind-blowing. So monks of this day and age travelled most places on foot. In fact, every now and then they were gifted a horse and they would give it to somebody else because their mission was to live humbly and frugally and as close to God as possible. Now, not only did Cuthbert travel all over the country on foot, preaching the message and the mission, but when he died and was buried on Lindisfarne, where we're ultimately going to conclude our journey, however many years later, the monks dug up his coffin, found that he was miraculously preserved, hence the saint name, but then they lugged his coffin all around the country until eventually he was put to rest in Durham Cathedral, because they wanted to protect Cuthbert, St Cuthbert, from Viking raids and Danish raids and on and on and on, the stuff that went on in the past. They lugged a coffin, people, so I can lug a rucksack.
So, with that, I plodded on through the rain, on to Newton St Boswell's, and underneath the A68.
Oh hey, look at this. Single-use pollution. Ugh. Just a reusable bag, actually. The irony of that. As many of us know, we live in a plastic world, and plastic does not biodegrade in any way, shape or form. It just breaks down and continues to pollute at every micro level possible. So really strongly, highly encourage you, every synonym of please, if you see rubbish or single-use pollution on the trail, make sure you pick it up. And that way we can leave no trace and keep our trails free of trash.
The Trash Free Trails community encourage us to take Leave No Trace a little bit further. They say that removing single-use pollution is actually how we leave a positive trace. Given how much help nature needs right now, it's inspiring to think about how our own adventures can be used as a vehicle for giving back and taking small but positive action.
Ooh. Here we go, heading across to the banks of the River Tweed. And interestingly, the Borders Way, which we followed so far, goes that way, across the bridge. And we are heading along the shore. Oh, can't wait to get a closer look. So far we've just had wee glimpses through the trees. Wow, this feels almost alpine. Truly, truly special place. I've got my drone out, my new drone, since my other one kept steaming up. Bit nervous. This is not something I find hugely exciting. It just makes me nervous. But this is an important step in my professional career. So let's do it. I've got to be really careful here. So many trees, you know.
The River Tweed, or Tweed Water, is one of the great salmon rivers of Britain, and at 97 miles long, flows east across the border region of Scotland and northern England. It is a relic of a paleo ice stream that flowed through the area during the last glaciation. Thus, this legendary body of water has been the source of inspiration for poets and artists alike throughout history. In addition to thriving fish populations, the River Tweed supports an amazing array of other wildlife, including otters, beavers, and kingfishers. This is all thanks to the outstanding conservation efforts that have been made to prevent threats like pollution and overfishing. And nowadays, the river is seen as quite a local treasure. It really goes to show the power of people pulling together to fight for nature.
Yes, people! I flew my drone. I knew it'd be worth carrying it all this way. Woohoo! Oh, I love how many bookshops there are. Rah!
Hello again.
There's my hiking buddies.
Yeah.
How are we doing, folks? You alright?
Yeah, you enjoy yourself. First morning.
Yeah.
You want to have a sit down with us for a bit?
I'm good actually, but thank you very much.
Okay.
I just stopped earlier, so. So even though the path is quite overgrown, I'm not bothered in the slightest because the fragrance that these wildflowers are creating, the air is just stunning. Like, I'm just breathing deep and smiling from the inside out. And the colour as well is really special. It's a really, really nice stretch of path. These are not stairs for the faint-hearted. Climbing. Yeah, there's a lot of stairs. Emerging from the darkness to Maxton's church. Maxton, actually. All right, we are on the Roman road. It's actually not quite what I expected. It's not as wide as I thought. For some reason, when a trail says Roman road, I'm always just thinking Hadrian's Wall path, and I think it's going to be like that, but it's not. However, we are moving away from the A road, and the path is still nice and easy to follow. And this is literally it now, a straight line in a southeasterly, I think that's what it was, direction to Hairstains. And at a designated point I have to call my transfer and let them know that I'm on my way to Hairstains, and then they'll meet me there and then drive me to Jedburgh, which I really struggle saying. And then that's where I will stay tonight according to my max adventure. Years ago, the monks of Melrose Abbey erected a great stone here beside the Roman road Deer Street, brackets, which we're on, close bracket, and close to a place called Lilleshate. By 1372, this stone had become known as Lilliot Cross. For the next 10 years, representatives of the Scottish and English crowns met here to try and resolve disputes by peaceful negotiation rather than fighting. Hi Chris, this is Abbie, the hiker. I'm just letting you know I'm at the Lilliard Stone on the St Cuthberts way.
Okay, it's about an hour and a half from there.
Perfect, I will yomp along in the rain, no bother. Look at them all! How? Now this really is giving me Hadrian's Wall vibes. It poured down like this almost the entire way when I redid the trail a couple of years ago. But I have to say, there's something quite poignant about being out on a hike in weather you may potentially rather be on the other side of the glass for. It feels like a true pilgrimage, real exposure to the natural world, and I have to say, for me, this is what I crave and I yearn for when I'm just day-to-day lifing. It is this exposure, it is this rawness, it is to feel soggy and cold and wearisome, because this for me is what life is all about. This for me enables me to feel a part of nature, and it always makes me smile, because almost like the harder things get, up to a point, of course, the more spiritual the experience, because it isn't easy, and it does come with some grit and determination, and it's not just mental but it's physical, and it just feels so good. Like right now I'm in this forest. It's a pine forest. It smells of pine. I can hear the rain, and I'm completely alone. What more do you need in life? This is what I live for. And when I was recovering from my operation, the days where I began walking 100 meters and 200 meters, 300 meters, this people, was the motivation to be out and to be home, because nature is home. Hey doggy! Hi! You're a big doggy! A big muddy doggy. There we are, that's hair stains just over there. Well folks, this just about brings us to the end of our first day's walking on the St Cuthberts Way. And what I love about hiking is the days just feel jam-packed. We were in Melrose this morning. We walked over the hill, and we walked along the river, and we walked through the fields, and we walked into the rain, and now we're here, and we're going to go to the Royal Hotel, and on it goes, and that's just day one. It's rather awesome. Also, I found a flood. It's July. Oh dear. I'm not feeling hugely articulate, and I'm feeling really celebratory, that's the word. My socks are wet, my trousers are wet, my boxers are wet. More information than you need, but I'm insanely happy. And yeah, looking forward to getting some of this kit off and relaxing in the hotel room. Actually, it won't be relaxing, I have work to do, but still, all good in the hood.
Hey.
Hello! Someone turned the taps on.
Yeah.
It's raining.
Did you?
Yeah.
And we were a bit delayed putting the waterproof, so I'm thinking that.
Me too.
Yes.
Are you Chris? Nice to meet you. Bit soggy, but alright. I feel like I'm going to ruin your car. I'm sorry.
It's
Supposed to get better though, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just this year.
Goodbye, taxi man. Hello, Jedburgh. Hello, my little wet friend. I love it. How you doing? You alright?
Right, we'll hang up down there. You can hang them anywhere you want.
Wow, that is nice and toasty.
Yeah, and
love
you can
it.
put your boots on.
Madness. One last Oh no. Oh dear. Look at base camp. I don't think I've ever slept anywhere so nice. This is not good for my camping career. So the explosion has happened. This is my charging station, as is often the way on the trail. So I'm charging GoPro currently, Sony, and down here is the drone. So that's pretty exciting. I said this was a working trip. Proof is in the pudding. That's my laptop. I'm saving the footage right now. This is my little mascot Apricot, who comes on every walk. And yeah, general explosion. So when I arrive at accommodation, no matter where I am on a trail, I always make the most of the space to do some stretching. And as much as I enjoyed today, I would be lying if I said my legs didn't feel a wee bit stiff. It's probably the furthest I've walked since my operation and since I did the Arran Coastal Path in April, and it's July now. So I'm going to stretch my wee legs out and yeah, bring you guys along for the routine. See what you think. Join in. Morning everyone. It is day 2 on the St Cuthberts Way. I'm back at Hairstains. I caught the taxi this morning and I am pretty much ready to go now. I've got my stuff. Where's my stuff? It's over there somewhere. There it is. Left my bag to be picked up by the baggage transfer company at the hotel. It was a good night's sleep. I'm well fed and well watered, and I am not in any rush because I can't check in till 4 p.m. and I have 12 miles, so I wanted to get a taxi a bit later, but he was booked up. But the weather looks just like this today, another grey, overcast, dull day. It was quite interesting having my laptop last night because I checked the footage from the forests yesterday, and this new camera seems to be quite shaky in the darkness, but otherwise I'm quite pleased with it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to not having a time pressure today, because I did feel that a little bit yesterday. It was somewhat edgy, but yeah, should be a good day to Morebattle. Let's do it. The first thing for me to do is retrace my steps back through the forest to rejoin the way at the junction point where we left it yesterday. And the second thing for me to do en route is to warm up my left plantar fascia, because my gosh does it hurt. I've been struggling with my plantar fascias quite a lot in recent years, but last year I set out to walk the Kungsleden, which is a 3-week hike in Arctic Sweden, solo, and day 1 was a bit like this, just like ow, 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 and today seems to be the same. I felt it as soon as I took my boots off yesterday. It didn't actually bother me on the walk, so I know that I can get through it, but I just need to warm my foot up and take it really nice and slow. So swings and roundabouts with a shorter day. It's going to give me more time to rest, less need for speed, and I can just really take care of it as best as I can. And I have struck gold, folks. Today I have time to eat raspberries, and there's so many. Oh, a bridge. Oh, isn't this lovely? And that is a big river. Wow. I'm holding on to everything for dear life because I have a terrible habit of dropping things. It's a bit crazy really, still on Deer Street, the Roman road.
Ascending one of a handful of hills for the day, I gained clear views behind over the Waterloo Monument, a 150-foot tower built between 1817 and 1824 to commemorate the Battle of Waterloo. This is the second of 2 monuments after the first one collapsed.
I may well have just found my new plant for this trail. There's all these raspberry bushes, but the fruits are yellow. I'm a bit bamboozled. I did not know that was a thing.
From further research, these berries are simply called golden raspberries, probably a hybrid strain linked to an Asian variety found in gardens.
Bless you. Bless you. Oh, bless you also. Oh, bless you. Are you all good, moolies? Are you having a good life? So many moolies. Well, it was nice to meet you. Have a nice day. Bye, Moolies. Oh, you're a nice brown one. I like your colour. You can hear the bubbling waters of Oxnam Water, which we just cross over now. How lovely is this? It's quite interesting actually, as I'm plodding along. I've really made sure to mentally calculate that today is a plodding day. It's a bit of an active recovery and just to be soaked up and enjoyed, but something in that has left me feeling a little sluggish. And I was thinking about, you know, once again the trail is the perfect metaphor for life, because when it gets hard on the trail and you're just not feeling like walking, you always have a destination in mind or a goal in mind for the day. And again, that in its very simplest form gives yet again another form of meaning and purpose. It might be on a very small scale, just what is the point of today is to get from A to B via C. But yeah, it just sort of crossed my mind that that's what I'm doing right now. Well, I gotta get there, so I gotta keep moving. Chin up, chest out. Off we go. Find ourselves up on the Cesford Downs now, which is just sort of rolling hills of arable and pastoral lands. You can see wheat and barley growing around, and there's cows grazing the fields. It's pretty chilled, but hopefully very soon we'll be seeing the remains of Cesford Castle, which is the one and only thing to really look at en route today. Whoopee! Here we are. We've made it to Cesford Castle. The stronghold of the Kerrs, one of the most powerful of the border River families and ancestors of the Dukes of Roxburgh.
Cesford Castle is unusual for its size, being larger than most L-plan castles in the area. It is 3 stories high in the main block and 4 in the wing, and the walls are 12 foot thick in places. Although closed for access due to its unstable conditions, I was able to fly my drone over the top and gain glimpses inside. I really enjoyed allowing my imagination to wander, what it would have been like for the people dwelling amongst its walls in the 15th century and beyond.
I reckon this is just about us, folks. Morebattle coming up. What a random day. It has been a really nice day's hike. I mean, covered some good distance and seen some good parts of the Scottish borders. The castle was definitely my highlight. Really liked the castle. The end of day 2 on the St Cuthberts way. I'm actually really looking forward to tomorrow because the weather is due to brighten up a little bit, and this light is it's quite draining. It's quite flat. But I was speaking to a lady earlier, the one and only person that I saw today, and she was saying that it's just been one of the wettest summers they've had here in the borders, and the ground certainly speaks for that. It's been very wet and slippy, but you have to laugh at yourself. And I have accommodation for the night, in case you didn't already know, so I can dry out. Happy days. So thanks for joining me on day 2, folks. Let's get to the Temple Hotel Templar Hotel, can't remember what it's called, and get these stinky socks off. How do I keep landing this? Oh my life. Well, that was the Temple Hall Hotel. What a special stay that was. The lady who runs the show was explaining sort of the difficulties she's faced with pub becoming hotel, and then the nuances that you have to adapt for with the local community and the sort of tourist hiking trade in particular. And she's run the show herself for a chunk of time. I have so much respect for her. So a really, really special stay. I felt very well cared for. Everything is done to order, and very considerate. So that was a really good night to wake up in the sunshine. I feel like I can't quite see because it's so sunny. And it is day 3 on the St Cuthberts Way. It's a really, really short day today. Just got to get to Kirk, Yetholm, which is basically over the hill. So I've had a leisurely morning, doing some work, had a breakfast, nom nom, porridge.
Before I left Morebattle, I popped into the community shop. And I have to say, I received a really warm welcome, and never before have I experienced such a well-stocked wee shop on a hike. Thank you very much, folks. Popcorn in hand, I was ready to go.
Wow, what a spectacular day for walking. It's a totally different vibe this morning. Much less imposing and much more welcoming. Well, this is our path. I'm joking, it's not really. There's a bridge further upstream. This is what I've been looking forward to. This climb, actually, in particular to the top of Wide Open Hill, is supposed to be the steepest climb on the route. So that's a bit exciting. And just having already these wide open vistas, the hills, the grasslands, and I have a sweat on. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, really. Life on the trail in the sunshine. Bish bash bosh. Quite the adventure up through this grass. I feel very small.
Part of the northern Cheviot range, Wide Open Hill is an honest place. From its name, to its height, to the views it offers from the top. No doubt the sunny weather helped, but I really enjoyed the climb to the summit, at 368 metres above sea level.
Well, this is us, people. The summit of Wide Open Hill. There's loads of flies up here, but it's so gonna be worth just hanging around for a wee bit. The views down to the settlement where I'm heading to next, and the wee teaser of the hills into which we're going to be walking tomorrow to Wooler. I cannot wait. That's something I'm really, really looking forward to. But we can even see through the haze the 3 volcanic plugs that we walked through and over on day 1 from Melrose. It's madness, really. It's so easy to sort of make a journey out of a short distance when you just immerse yourself in the natural world. What a rewarding ascent. And not too steep either, I hasten to add. Pretty pleased with that. Well, I've been hanging out here for a fair bit, almost an hour actually. Folks have come and gone. I've had some really nice, wholesome conversations. And as you might be able to see behind me, the clouds are starting to darken. But it's really nice actually, just having the time and space to watch the light move across the land. And it really does dance, you know, from the shadows to the brightness, and then the depth is constantly changing. Like, this is an ever evolving transient landscape, be that in the literal weather or in the climate as a whole with the seasons that come and go. But it's also just so nice to have the time to breathe. And it's a very literal and metaphorical weight off one's shoulders when you just sit down and exist in a landscape. You get your pack off, but it's just feeling small. Like, I can't tell you how far I can see, but it's far. And over there somewhere is Lindisfarne, and we're gonna walk there, and I can see where we've come from, and it's such a rewarding experience to just be in a landscape like this, and one's sole purpose is to walk, to get from A to B, and to have a journey. I've been on the trail for 3 days, and it feels a lot longer than that, and I've met a couple of other folks that have said the same. You know, they're out here on their holiday from the intensive work schedule that they have, and you know, the decompression is so instant, and you don't have to come out and do a massive multi-day hike, you know, hundreds of miles, in order to reap the benefit of that. Just getting out in nature, getting out into a forest, on top of a hill, experiencing the wind and the rain and the sun and the hot and the cold and everything that is the outdoors is so phenomenally good for us. And it's something that you find yourself eventually looking forward to, even the hardships, even the struggle, because you know that there's beauty on the other side of that. You know that there's personal growth on the other side of that. And the more time you spend in the natural world, the more you learn about it. The more you learn about it, the more you want to care for it, because you realise that it's fragile and it needs us and we need it. And there's a balance there. You know, this is not somewhere to be taken for granted. And yes, sure, there is not an inch of this landscape that I'm looking at that hasn't been sculpted by human activity. And yet at the same time, you can never tame the wild. That's why my motto is stay wild, because it's impossible to tame it. The wild is the wild. The wild was here before we exist, and the wild will be here after we exist. And the wild is resilient, and we too can be and are resilient, but it's a muscle. It's something we have to train. And getting out into the natural world is a really, really good place to build resilience, to build endurance, to build hope, something we can hold on to. That being said, I did eat all my snacks whilst I was up here. It's 1:15. Oops. Looks like the wet stuff is coming. Waterproof cover on, and off we go.
The walk down to Kirk Yetholm couldn't have been better. Never too steep, and with far-reaching views, I couldn't have felt any happier about life on the trail. The St Cuthberts way was clearly working its magic.
I'm just going to check this map a second. Yeah, hard surface, St Cuthberts way for days of high water levels, so follow the road, and now the core path continues along the river. So there's town Yetholm and Kirk Yetholm, or Yetholm, or however it's pronounced. My accommodation's in Kirk Yetholm, which is actually the start/end of the Pennine Way. So this now really is sort of the beginning of the end of our third day. A really, really short day, but a wonderful day. Absolutely stunning. I mean, I think going over the top of the hill would be a bit exposed in poor weather, but we haven't had that today. It's been just fantastic, really restorative, and yeah, just some good thinking time. Love it. Something to be said for short days. I see why this is the low water level route. How pretty is that though? The town Yetholm is just there to the left, a couple of fields away, and we're going to be arriving at Kirk Yetholm very shortly. Heading across Beaumont Water now via the bridge. And then the way continues that way along the shore. What a peaceful place. We've got the green here in the middle, the border's just there, and this sign here combines the St Cuthberts and Pennine Way. That's weird. It's kind of like when you're on a trail, it feels more like you're on like an individual, like I don't know, like island adventure. And then it's like, oh, the Pennine Way, I've walked a lot of that. And it's here. And here's a billboard, look, Pennine Way. Starts at Edale, we've run a few walks from there, and then just goes all the way north. 268 miles to here.
As well as the pub, the village was the headquarters of the Romanichal travellers in Scotland, having settled here in the 1750s. A memorial stone marks their role in village life to this day.
Isn't that brilliant? Pile of boots underneath the end of the Pennine Way sign. Does smell quite cheesy over here. I'm joking. Can you spot yours? I'm looking at these shoes. How bad is this? Like some of these, I'm like, they have life in them. I could use them. Do they have them in my size? It's not healthy. Right, let's go. Okay, so I am at my accommodation for the night. I thought I'd just show you once again the Max app, Max Adventure app, in fact, how I am knowing where to go and what to do. So we've talked about the map. So at each day on the itinerary, there's the days here at the top you can see. So I am on day 4, which is Monday the 15th of July. And what you get is this whole load of information. So I'm staying at the Border Hotel, and if I click details, it tells me when I can check in from. Really helpful for planning because there's meal information basically saying that options are very limited here. Whereas if we go across to tomorrow, as you can see, I'm staying in Wooler at the Old Mill B&B. If I click more details, meal information, there are lots of pubs and restaurants in Wooler. You can go wherever, or you can go where you can go and have an evening meal. So it's just really helpful and condensed information. Look at this, folks. Now that I've made it, literally just made it, the rain has started. It's nothing much, but it is raining. So that's quite cool. Yeah, I like the Border Hotel. It's got an oldness to it, sort of a pub charm, which is quite special. And I love that it's so set up for hikers and walkers as well. Yet again, another example of a locally run business that is supporting people getting outdoors. So have to love it. Anyway, that is day 3 done. What a simple and beautiful day. Oh dear, there's proper rain now. Yeah. Okay, hopefully the rain will stop soon because there's genuinely a leak in the window, and it's encroaching. Oh dear. I'll put a towel there, shall I? Hey. Day 4, penultimate day. Let's get up into the hills and pretend we can see very far. Brilliant views back down over Kirk Yetholm. It's going to be a lot of this today, just saying. Morning, cows. Just a human on a walk. Don't mind me. No need to panic, okay? Okay. That's a good morning. Hey, yeah, I know your baby is very cute. Hi, baby cow. That post has style. That's a proper decent hat someone's left there. I kind of want to try it on. It's a good looking hat, that. Really been there for a minute. Tip one. Take that off. Sticks are very helpful for this. What do you think? Which way around does it go? I quite like this hat. It's too big, but it's a good hat. I like this hat a lot. It's a felt hat, it's very light. Breakfast club on the hill. I have been warned, that this stretch may be a little wet underfoot, but that's pretty classic of this kind of territory. Hang on a minute. Is this what I think it is? Is this the border? Hi, this is the border! Look at that! I got too excited with the mist and the hat and all that. Look! Welcome to England, welcome to Scotland. The border. Blimey, that came round quick. We did it! So from here forwards we'll be walking in England rather than Scotland. My van's in Scotland, so I have to return there in Melrose, but still. What a satisfying point to reach on this hike. Happy days. Well, on to England we go. We have fine views here in England, just like in Scotland. I actually really don't mind that it's like this. You know, I know that it's lifting. We'll get some views later on today. But once again, if St. Cuthbert could do it without trails like this and signage, then I can definitely do it. But, you know, for some folks, and for me in the past, and no doubt in the future, cloud can have an intimidation factor. And I think that's pretty understandable. You can't see as very far, and you know, you can struggle with a sense of context. But so long as you can navigate and hold your own, you'll be just fine. Also, the more time you spend out in these kinds of environments, the more familiar you get with the patterns of the weather. So I knew this was going to burn off today, and I also knew that the higher I got, it's very likely I would be walking into thinner cloud, because it accumulates in the glens, the valleys, the bottom and lower parts of the land. But anyway, that's looking alright, isn't it? Even got trees up there. Obstacle. Oh, let's put wood down, because that doesn't get slippy when it's wet. Well, pretty overgrown again. Thankfully, these are seeds and not ticks. But we're in sheep territory now, so definitely gonna have to thoroughly check tonight. Seems like what they're trying to do here is allow it to become sort of native land as it was before it was grazed by sheep. We've got sort of all the ling heather, and there's a few alpine tree species like the birch, downy birch, and some pines. Look at this, in the shadows of a plantation now. And then got this burn, can't see it, you can sure hear it. Oh, there it is a little bit. Nice. So we have reached the road, which we really only follow for a couple hundred meters, and then it's back up into the hills, basically all the way across to Wooler after this stretch. So yeah, this is Heathpool, is just basically a hamlet in the middle of the Northumberland National Park. Wow, how nice are these houses? Just stopped for a little rest. The bracken makes my legs so itchy. Like I'm just here like itch, itch, itch. But that aside, the sun came out. Woohoo! And it's really, really nice to just be able to sit and take it all in a minute. I mean, particularly when you get out of the overgrown stuff, it's like, oh, look where I am now. Because otherwise it's just heads down, sloshing through the water and the undergrowth. We've got the hill fort in front of us. We've got the hills through which we've walked earlier to the left. And yeah, today has been kind of what I hoped it would be. Just really, really beautiful. Quite mellow walking, undulating. Lots to take in, ever-changing, historic. Happy days. Here we are, leaving the track up into the hills. Voila, here we come. I am dripping with sweat. It is so close today, the weather. Fantastic views opening up behind, but we're really into shooting country now. A lot of Northumberland is shoots and ranges. So yeah, I will keep my opinions to myself and walk on through and create no trouble. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Bleh. You know, it has crossed my mind just now, what would this landscape have been like when St Cuthbert was pilgrimaging through it? Because I highly doubt it was a grouse moor. You know, I wonder if it would have been still scrubby woodland. And actually, you know, that's what the ground is constantly trying to get back to, where they're swaling, burning back the heather. You know, they're managing it. This whole area is managed to stay in a particular state, especially for the reason of hunting. I mean, don't get me wrong, upland heath is a really important habitat for all sorts of different species, but the land here is constantly pushing in the natural line that is succession, and you can see it in the odd plants that are popping up and shrubs. But still, this is what we get. St Cuthbert would have had something different again. That is evolution of time, I suppose. This is swaling, if you're unfamiliar. Essentially, landowners burn back the heather over successive periods to sort of keep it under control.
Putting land management and hunting to the side, I marched on, enjoying the early blooming heather and fine views across the Cheviot Hills. I'm fairly sure that the biggest peak visible on the horizon was Cheviot itself, the highest point in Northumberland National Park at 815 metres above sea level.
Wow, look at all of this heather. Hey, there's Wooler, folks. Just tucked down in the valley there. Back to valleys now, not glens. And on a clearer day, we potentially could have seen across to the coast, but not quite now. Well, people, I put my earphones in for a wee bit just to keep me moving. The inspiration factor was really quite high, and I love filming. It's obviously really good, but sometimes it really slows progress, and I know that I need to keep moving. But that being said, I have moved enough to now be on the final descent down into Wooler, and I can't believe it, really. I can't believe this is the penultimate day on the St Cuthberts Way. I think it's like anything in life, really. Backpacking is a bit of a muscle that you can stretch and train, and the more you do, the more you can do, if that makes sense. So, you know, if you do a 7-day hike, a 5-day feels quick. If you do a 10-day, a 7-day feels quick. If you do a 3-week, a 5-day definitely feels quick. But I started at 5 days. I started at 4 days, actually. And you can start at anything. And it's really important to start somewhere that you can build from and know that there is a process behind being able to multi-day backpack. It starts with just getting out there, getting out hiking. So yeah, a good day's hike it has been. Really glad that the clouds cleared enough to be able to see some of the Northumberland hills. It was really stunning, actually. And now I'm looking forward to exploring Wooler. There's somewhere I actually cycled to on Abbie Bikes Britain, which was a 2,000-mile cycle from the top to the bottom of the country via every national park. So yeah, I just remember collapsing in a heap, not much else.
Wooler is said to be a gateway town to the Cheviot Hills and has all the amenities a walker could ever need, including cafes, pubs and a good-sized co-op supermarket. After a quick snoop around, I headed on to my B&B for the night.
Check this out. Once again, we beat the rain. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's journey. It's gonna be a good one. What an amazing way to end a long distance trail. We just have to make the tide time. That's the only thing, because basically they give you a crossing window, and then halfway within that window is the cutoff for the pilgrim route. You can take the causeway or you can take the pilgrim route. The pilgrim route goes across the sand. The causeway is essentially a road. My goal is to be able to take the pilgrim route tomorrow. Fingers crossed we can get there within that halfway of the crossing window, if that makes any sense. That's tomorrow's problem. Now it's just about rest and recuperation and getting ready for our final day on the trail. I'll see you there. Good morning, wonderful people. It is the 5th and final day on the St Cuthberts Way. The sun is shining. It's actually blinding me. But we're leaving Wooler behind now and heading on for our journey to Lindisfarne, the Holy Island, one of the most sacred and iconic places of pilgrimage for the Christian religion, and a place of immense history and significance for St Cuthbert himself. And of course it's where the way terminates. So I'm climbing up a hill. You could take the road, but I'm doing the hill, one of the last hills for our journey, because really the second half of today is at sea level or below sea level. So anyway, let's enjoy this every last step and cover the 18.5 miles to the island. Buzzing. Thankfully it is a sunny morning, because my clothes are already getting very wet and this is not the smoothest path out there. So I will dry out and now we'll go straight back up once we're out of this overgrowth. It's taller than me. We mentioned yesterday about the different species that live in this kind of habitat in the heathland. You can see some of them here. Stone shat, golden plover, mountain bumblebee, hairtail, cotton grass. Love it.
Wheatwood Moor, where I was now walking, is apparently famous for its ancient stone engravings, though, try as I might, I failed to find them. In my searching, however, I missed a turning in the trail, so had to reroute on the other side of the hill along the road.
The old mill B&B where I stayed last night was such a nostalgic and heartfelt experience. It's actually a B&B, like you get interaction with your host and conversation, and I sat down and had breakfast with them, and I remember that's how B&Bs used to be. I love it, as these days everything is self-check-in and you don't see anybody, you don't see the homeowner at all. So that just put a real smile on my face and in my heart. Hugely grateful for that experience, and you know, I think it's really important. It might feel uncomfortable at times, but we have a loneliness crisis in, well, not just this country, in particularly the Western world. So interaction with people is really important, particularly strangers, because we tend to find people are nicer and kinder and more friendly than we expect. We just have to open our hearts to that. So yeah, a really warming morning, and now into a warming day. Right, let's try this again. That's where we would have come down. This is the bridge over the River Tweed. I'm glad I'm not in my van, because 2 tons is not enough for me. Look at these flowers. This is Himalayan balsam, which is invasive species. It's not native to this country, but whilst there are measures to try and get it out, it provides a very reliable source of nectar for lots of different species, which is only ever a good thing, in my opinion, with the expanse of crops and pesticides. Plus, it's just ridiculous because we go to great extents to remove even native species, which people consider weeds, and yet they provide so much for our invertebrate species. So no complaints for me for Himalayan balsam. Plus, it's rather beautiful. Perks for all, it seems. Well, folks, here we're joining another Roman road. This time it's paved, at least for now. So it's known as the Devil's Causeway, which is a curious and mysterious name. I wonder if St. Cuthbert walked it. Actually, is there evidence that he walked this exact route? Or was it he could just walk wherever he wants and goes and visits his friends for a cup of tea en route? Because that's my theory anyway. Leaving the Roman road, heading into the undergrowth. Whoa! Look at this! Look at this field! Wow! I think they're poppies. Oh my gosh! Look at this! That is bonkers. Pink poppies everywhere. Right, we're leaving the poppy field, which is, dare I say it, a good thing, because that has just occupied a lot of time. It's just a field of joy. Ah, I could live in that field. Look at it! Yeah. Here we are then, St Cuthbert's Cave. Said to be the first place they stopped with St Cuthbert in his coffin on his 7-year grand tour as they escaped the Danes. Ultimately, it's a very cool and damp rock formation. I can imagine them sitting here with a fire, being like, yep, don't worry Cuthbert, all is good in the hood. I seem to find myself between a rock and a hard place. People! First views of the sea! Woohoo! That's where we're going! Ah, what a special moment. It still looks quite far away. I mean, it is quite far away. But that is the sea. Happy days. I wonder if soon we'll be able to see Lindisfarne. I reckon slightly to the left. Heading up the next hill. Ah, oh, wow. People, there's Lindisfarne. Oh my goodness me. That is something else. We're going there. It sure does look a long way still, but we can do it. Oh, what a beautiful day to be out on the trail. Whew. I'm just mind blown by this. The weather today, the views, the vibe, just feeling so grateful. I reckon St Cuthbert's looking down on us. Dropping down to Fenwick now, which is pretty much the last settlement that we go through before we reach the causeway. So really this is the penultimate stretch now of the St Cuthbert's Way. Now on the island, on Holy Island, I'm looking to get to the remains of the monastery, and that's where we'll wrap this thing up. But I'm so chuffed with the time. It's 1:20 and the safe tide window starts from 2:30. Don't get me wrong, we're not there yet, but we're not going to be far off at all. So I'm due a stop. I'm due taking the weight off my feet, and I'm due a snack. So let's see if we can find a bench in Fenwick, and then we'll tackle this penultimate stretch to the causeway. Bring it on. Maybe I found a coffee shop. Gonna have a quick swig, and then we'll get to Holy Island. First coffee. Oh my gosh, you have so many nice things. I didn't expect to find this, so it's just like, oh. Well, that's a bit nice. I got myself a coffee. Oh, love it. Oat milk latte. Good stuff. Right, confession times. I also bought this, which is a carrot cake flapjack. It's got some serious weight to it and must be like the most calorie dense thing I've ever eaten on the trail. But let me tell you something. Tastes flipping good. It's so sugary. Let's try that again, shall we? Alright, penultimate step to Lindisfarne. Now that the cafe has been and gone. Good surprise, good to support local. But first, we have to cross the A1, which could be interesting. Go on in, matey. Look right then left, look right then left, look right then left. Go, go! Wow, look at that. The old granary. Just abandoned. Fascinating. Quite like old buildings like that. My favourite old buildings though are castles. And there's a castle where we're going. Hiya! Oh, there's a train. I guess there's a railway line there. It's so close now. I could almost reach out and touch it. The causeway. Not quite. Maybe a mile to go. Ah! If I do dare to take the pilgrim route, which is the across the tidal sands, this could be really quite a profound experience. I am so scared of water and sand and currents and tides and water. Did I say that already? Yes, I did, because the fear is legit. So I'm a bit scared because I know I'm gonna do it. Oh dear. Right, before I face the quicksands, you must always phone the signalman before crossing to ensure it is clear to cross. High-speed trains in excess of 100 miles per hour past this point. Right, better pick up the phone then. What phone do I use? Oh gosh, this is also nerve-wracking. Right. Fernham Hill. Hello, I'm just a walker at Fernham Hill. I just wanted to check that it's safe to cross. Yeah, I can hear it now actually. Alright, shall I just hang tight and give you a call back, or? Safe to cross. Nice one, thank you so much. Have a good one. Cheers, bye. Right. Couple of minutes, go, go. Ah! It's a bit scary, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Trains of over 100 miles an hour. Oh, blimey. Go, go! That's terrifying. I don't want to die by a train. I'm startled. I feel like I'm on a proper adventure today. Cross the railway lines, cross the ocean. Jeez, never mind Bear Grylls. What you got on me, mate? I think this is all just nervous excitement, if I'm really being honest. Now we're on the England coastal path as well. So many paths. This must be sacred ground. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really look like the tide is out. It still looks considerably underwater. Meanwhile, this is a concrete version of the Abbie sanctuary. It's not really. Here we are then, folks. Look at this. It is not to be estimated, the distance. 3.5 miles, no, 3.25 miles even, to get to Holy Island. That is a chunky stretch of trying not to die. One then, no, I've made it to the road where I probably have a higher chance of dying, so I'm going to try my best not to. Have to walk to the emergency shelter. Oh, frick. And then we'll see how gutsy I'm feeling. So we're walking out now onto ground that goes underwater. Frick, frick, frick. It's not fear, it's excitement. Well, actually now we're on the seabed. I know it might seem like I'm blowing this out of proportion, but I'm really not. I am genuinely terrified. I don't feel good. It's a little bit like climbing Mont Blanc, except there's no risk of frostbite. I'm not at 3,000 plus meters. There's not going to be an avalanche, and I haven't got crampons to worry about. But, well, really, it's nothing like climbing Mont Blanc. It just feels like it. It's scary. There's other walkers going, but just because someone else is doing something doesn't mean you need to follow. Here's the shelter anyway. So like, that is how high the water gets, you know. You have to go in there for safety, and I'm down here. Blimey. Right, this is my pull off. You see those sticks over there? That's what I have to follow. I think this is one of those moments where the fear is bigger in my mind than in reality. I just got to get my boots off and walk. So I'm that scared. I've got my Zolio out, which is a freaking SOS device. Hopefully I don't need it. But it's on and ready to go. Well, this is it, folks. Boots are off and we're walking. I seem to be doing this. Step one is to get to that wooden post. And there's no denying that it's beautiful. But just because something looks nice doesn't mean it's not dangerous. A lot of people have died out here. Oh, it's also nice to get my boots off. So. That's it, think about the fun things. Ooh, shells. Nope, not shells. Step one achieved. Step two, follow the posts. Once again, that's the safe tide height. Ay, ay, ay. I think one of the things that's most absurd to me about this is it wasn't until the mid-1900s that the causeway was built. Until then, the only way to get to the Holy Island was via this pilgrim walkway. It's absolutely bonkers. Like, did people enjoy the risk or something? I mean, maybe they did, you know. Sometimes we do have to thrill seek in order to go within. And I suppose the other side to that is thrill seeking is entirely subjective. For me, this is a thrill. For some people, it's like, ah, that's better. Get out of the fields and onto the sand. Some people are seals as their spirit animal. I am not. I'm more likely a mammoth. Hairy, stumpy, and I can walk a long way. Here, actually a yak. I love yaks. Here. Well, we seem to be on a drier patch, and based upon the footprints, there have been many other pilgrims, but they're all going the other way. I suppose you have a greater chance of outrunning the tide if you're walking away from it and walking towards it. At least I have popcorn. The other side to this is you're committed, really, because you can't go across to the causeway because there's quicksands between here and there. So this is it, folks. I feel like I need to sing a song to stop the tide from creeping in on me. I don't wanna know if you're creeping, keep it on the low, 'cause my heart can't take it anymore. Ugh, that's squishy. Ugh. It's going through my toes. I didn't know I'd get a footicure. What's it called? Look at the... This is fun. Oh. Oh. Right. Help. The nerves are settling down. I'm actually starting to feel quite brave. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing this in a vehicle. I'm on my own stinky feet, you know? That's proper pilgrimage.
As you can imagine, with tides coming and going twice a day, the conditions underfoot were constantly changing, and they differed every 100 metres too. There were dry patches of sand, water to wade through, rocky stretches, grassy patches, and very, very deep, sticky, stinky mud to navigate.
Whoa! Oh dear. Someone. Oh dear. Oh dear. I thought the poles were supposed to be safe. Clearly not. Hey. Well, clearly some folks have gone this way. Oh, blimey. Oh, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. I've no idea of the framing of this, but that's okay. I just need to get over there. And I have poles now. That is so deep. These people went in here, so I'm actually actively going to walk in their footsteps. Oh, frick. Oh. Yeah. I really hope it isn't all like this. I know that there's a few folks ahead of me. Back to feeling sick again.
Perhaps the hardest part of this pilgrim's walk was dealing with the insecurities in my head. I found it tough to put aside the thoughts that many would find this fun and easy walking. I felt silly for being so afraid. Yet, at the same time, I knew deep down that this was an opportunity for me to let go of who the world makes me believe I'm supposed to be and embrace who I am instead, fears and all. In order to do this, I had to be my own coach and encourage myself to simply take it one step at a time.
If the safe crossing time starts at 2:10, call it 2. You have until 10:30, call it 10. Then you're safe to keep crossing all the way till 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is not 6 o'clock. You are okay. You're not that bad at maths. Just keep walking. Huh. I think this feather can be my souvenir from this adventure. See if I can put it there. How's that? We have one last real obstacle ahead, which is a deeper stretch. Nice and steady, eh? Hopefully it won't get too much deeper than this. Oh, and there's shrimp. It's just a giant rock pool. Okay, it's got a little bit deeper. I can feel it giving way under my feet. That is so unpleasant. Nearly there, folks. Nearly there.
As you can imagine, seeing the solid ground of Lindisfarne ahead felt absolutely phenomenal. And it was at this moment that I realised perhaps why it was known as Holy Island. It was holy ground, an oasis, a sanctuary, and a place of immense personal realisation.
Yes, people! We did it! We lived! We didn't drown in the ocean! High five! Here we are, look. Safely on the Holy Island. Mate, that is madness. Hats off to myself, you know? Yeah, badass! Bear Grylls ain't got nothing on me! I can't believe we just did that. And now we are on Lindisfarne, the Holy Island. I'm knackered. We've journeyed 63 miles to get here. From Melrose, from Scotland to England, across the moors, through rambling fields, the rain, the wind, the sun, the sand. And now we're here. Literally, half of me is, half of me isn't. Depends where you draw the line. But my goodness me, what an adventure it has been. So the route officially ends at the monastery. That's where St Cuthbert was bishop and where he was initially buried until he was dug up and carried in his coffin around the country for 7 years. 7 years! But it's going to be busy there. So I've decided that it's here on the sand, in the sun. Ugh, there's sand everywhere. Then I'm going to wrap this thing up. And I was just pondering the absolute beauty of this journey. You know, St Cuthbert would have walked some of these paths, and I wonder if he's felt some of the things that I felt. He probably thought about food a lot, as did I. But the exposure of time spent outside, in the elements, it's just magic. You know, it's so grounding. It really reminds me of our roots. It reminds me that this is home. We are part of nature. And how can you want to protect something if you don't love it? And how can you love it if you've not experienced it? Max Adventure, who have facilitated this for me, they have sort of put the foundation in place, and they're all about self-guided adventures and human-powered adventures, which basically means they've put the foundation in place, as in, you're going to stay here, 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 here's your itinerary, crack on. And so I have. And the beauty of that has meant that I have been able to completely sculpt each and every day to my own personal desires and needs. So some days I've activated beast mode a little bit more, and I've pushed a little bit harder, and I've gone a little bit faster. And other days the way of connecting with the natural world has been slower and more calm and relaxed, and I've just sat and watched the clouds dance on the hills, and it's been more grounding. And that is really the beauty of coming out onto the trail like this. Like, nowhere else in life can you experience the level of freedom that you get on the trail, walking from A to B and having a journey and writing a story in between. And really, it's all about intention. You know, Max, Trash Free Trails, and I really believe that there is power in spending time in the natural world, that you can really get within yourself and come to understand your place on planet Earth and the bigger picture of what life is as a whole. You know, there is a real sense of meaning that you can find by activating beast mode and pushing the edge and facing your fears and doing challenging things like I just did, crossing the sands. But you can also gain that from slowing down and breathing and taking time to notice the intricacies of a poppy or the butterflies or the bees or the clouds. And it's so multi-dimensional. It's so 4D. Like, you feel it in every cell in your body. It's home. You know, this is, for me, what life is all about. And if you're ever searching for a sense of meaning, just open the door and get outside. Look up, look down, look all around. Put down technology. And honestly, in the day of AI and social media, like, we need this more than ever. We need this more than ever. And the super cool thing is that the more time you spend outside, the more you realise that you love it and you want to protect it. And one of the easiest ways to do that in our day-to-day life is just pick up single-use pollution and put it in a bin. It's so fulfilling knowing that every single action matters, because when you're on the trail and you see this stuff, this plastic pollution on the side of the trail, you know it doesn't belong there. You pick it up, you put it in your bag, you put it in a bin later on, and you're like, that made a difference. And that's so cool, because it counts. And that's what I mean by nature giving us a sense of the bigger scale. And again, every single day when you're on the trail, it's so much happens. You're like, life doesn't feel this intense when you're just back home doing your normal job. But when you're on the trail, it's like, oh, I did this and I did this and I went there and I saw this and I ate that and I drank this coffee and I met this really nice person. And it all counts. And that's the beauty of human-powered adventure. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? I really am, and I bet St Cuthbert felt some of this. You know, the monks living as humbly and simply as they could, giving away the horses that were given to them, giving away the shoes that were given to them, because they knew that is what helps us to connect deeper inside and outside too, as the bigger picture. So my job now is to get to the monastery and probably find a bowl of chips, if I'm really being honest with you. But it has been a fantastic journey, and I suppose my biggest message here, folks, is this is what I live for. But nature is available for everybody. It's available for you too. If you find yourself searching for something, I strongly encourage you to just open your door and get outside. You don't have to yomp in the hills for 5 days. Look up, look down, look all around. Put technology away. Be mindful, be present, and be grateful. Immerse yourself in the elements and tap into the wild within. Thank you so much for journeying with me along the St Cuthbert's Way. Enjoy your own adventures, no matter how big or small they may be. And until next time, stay wild. I'll see you soon, folks. Another trail done. I'm gonna eat some chips. Ah, yeah. This is where it always gets a bit weird. There's my hiking buddy. We lived.
Just about, yeah.
I wasn't sure about the tides, but we did it.
Yeah.
Good job, mate.
You seem to change the tides.
Right, let's get to this monastery. I decided to keep bare feet. We'll see how long this lasts.
Rather than head directly into the village, I followed an overgrown trail along the shoreline, with the sound of the waves and the seals filling my ears. It was a fantastic opportunity to breathe and regroup after crossing the sands and simply arrive on Holy Island. The whole experience just put a massive smile on my face.
Back to civilization.
Eventually though, I picked up tarmac and discovered that there are a lot of incredible smelling roses en route to the priory. Founded by the Irish monk Aidan in 634, the priory would have been an epic place to behold, boasting creative and exquisite architectural designs. The original monastery was destroyed by Viking invasions, though it was rebuilt and continued to be used until the dissolution of the monasteries in 1536. Even though it now stands ruined on the shoreline, it remains an important place for religious pilgrimage. With my hike now well and truly complete, I set about soaking up the vibes of Lindisfarne. The place is famous for its bird life, with migratory species travelling from afar to rest and nest throughout the seasons. It is also famous for its history. Having been sighted on the horizon earlier on in my journey, I now stood underneath the towering walls of the castle, a monumental moment, having reached it on foot. I really liked the idea of my newest hiking buddy, St Cuthbert, being a reluctant bishop, preferring the solace and contemplative life as a hermit on the inner Farne Island. This was a thin place, where the distance between heaven and earth is reduced, and I could really see why he loved it. I too preferred life on the wilder side, and the St Cuthbert's Way had reminded me that you don't need to travel far to have a powerful experience. You just need to get up, get out, and spend more time in the wild.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad I checked the buses here. There ain't no bus. Even though online it says there's a bus Monday to Saturday. It only goes Wednesdays and Saturdays, and it depends on the time, and then tomorrow is Thursday, so I guess I'm getting a taxi then. Oops.